Welcome to another informational video on HamSphere 4.0. Each of my videos will start with this same short section on what is HamSphere 4.0. Well, as a HamSphere 4.0 user and a licensed amateur radio operator, I look at it this way. HamSphere 4.0 is to ham radio what an advanced flight simulator is to flying. It's a simulation, but it's an incredibly realistic simulation. HamSphere 4.0 includes simulations of how the sunspots affect the ionosphere using current real sunspot numbers. It simulates the multiple paths that signals take through the atmosphere, getting from one location to another. And it even simulates the behavior of different types of antennas. You use all of these things in HamSphere 4.0 as you experienced an incredibly realistic simulation of ham radio. This video isn't really about training or teaching anything about HamSphere 4.0. It's just a couple of contacts that I had on 20 meters with a couple of different stations in the States. And we discuss a variety of topics. We talk about HamSphere 4.0, why we like it. We talk about antennas, of course, because that's always a big topic. And we talk about the importance of calling CQ and just a lot of things. And all the stations, me and the other two, are all licensed hams. We're all either currently active on real HF or have been active on real HF, but we're also big fans of the HamSphere 4.0 simulation of ham radio. WB7ECW calling CQ and listening.
KC0ZDU.
Yeah, Roger. Thank you very much. Kilo Charlie 0 Zebra Delta Uniform is what I copied and wrote down here. Thank you for the call. I'm using the IDC vertical, the default antenna here from the state of Washington, and actually working on a little video for new users to help them get going. And so I was just calling CQ with the default rig and hoping that I could prove that it was that it would work. The name here is Mike India Kilowatt Echo. Mike is my name. And again, my QTH is state of Washington over here on the west coast. KC0ZDU is WB7ECW.
Yeah, it's WB7ECW. This is Kilo Delta 0 Zulu Delta Uniform. My name is Don. I'm in Colorado, and you're 5x6, 5x7 here in the state of Colorado. Mike, WB7ECW, this is KT0ZDU. Microphone back to you, sir.
Okay, Don. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're picking up around 5.5, I would say. That's what I'll put you in the logbook as. So thank you for the call from Colorado. I may not have Colorado on 4.0 yet. So again, thanks for coming back to my call. Like I said, I'm working on some help videos to eventually put up on YouTube, and I was kind of hoping to have some success with my CQ. And if you don't mind, I'm going to edit it all together, but if you don't mind, I'll use at least the part where you answered my call, and maybe the signal report, and I'm going to go ahead and log you by hand here. So I'm not going to spot you because I already showed the users how to do that. So I'm just going to enter your call, which I did get correct, Kilo Delta 0 ZDU. Name is Don, and we're on 14260, I think. Single side band, and I gave you a 5.5. So hello, Don. I don't know how long you've been on 4.0. You're a new call to me. I don't know if we've worked. I don't think we've worked on 4.0, and I'm not sure if we worked on 3.0. I've been on 4.0 since March. I was one of the beta testers, and so I hope you're enjoying it. and I hope you're figuring everything out and having fun on it, and I'm glad you heard my call. Back to you, Don. Go ahead.
Yeah, KD0ZDU returning. Oh yeah, I was with HamSphere 3, and I've been with HamSphere for, I'm going to say a little over a month now. I really like it. I really do. It's just nice to hear the different voices out there, and it's just fun to kind of get to know the people and you get to know their voices. And I'm a big fan of HamSphere for sure. Yeah, I was just listening to another net on the radio, and then I had this on the computer, and I'm speaking to you on a cardioid. I have it actually pointed towards Europe, and I guess if I turned it to Washington State, if I didn't shoot over you, you'd probably be pegging the needle here. But yeah, no, it's very, very good, and I think everybody that uses this tremendous, just a tremendous real thing for me for sure. They'll definitely enjoy it. Anyway, I think I'll kick it back to you, Mike. WB7ECW. This is Don, KD0ZDU. Microphone you, sir.
Okay, Don. Thank you very much. Yeah, you must have turned the cardioid a little bit, even though I know it has a very, very wide lobe. So probably when you were pointed at Europe, you were pointed at me anyway. But that time you peaked up almost S7, I think. Your audio is quite strong. So it's all working just like I hoped, because I first looked at VOACAP for 20 meters, and considering the different times around the world and the propagation, it looked like North America was my best bet. I did talk to one station in Norway, but we were quite weak to each other. But we did make it, and then I decided to call CQ, see if I could raise somebody in North America. And you're coming in here great, and the cardioid's a good antenna. It's not very expensive, and it's got that wide lobe, so you can work a pretty wide geographic area, and yet it's still directional. That's what I have for 80 meters actually, because since I'm on the west coast of the U.S., I can point it pretty much east and cover all of the U.S. Once 80 meters starts picking up. So yeah, I really like 4.0. I use either real HF, which I've just gotten back into because of 4.0. It made me get back into real HF, or I'm using 4.0. It's not that I don't like 3.0, but I only have so much time, and I like just switching back between the real stuff and the 4.0 because they're so much alike. Anyway, I'm glad I finally got to talk to you. Send me a card. Like I said, I don't know for sure if I have Colorado. Oh, I see you got one to me there. So thank you. That's beautiful. Thanks a lot, Don. Thanks for helping me demonstrate that the IDC vertical can do the job, and just helping my little demo work out here. KD0ZDU is WB7ECW.
Yeah, no problem. You're coming up to 9 for sure. Glad we got to chat here. I'm glad that you're helping other people. It's very important to help them, because a lot of people don't realize just how neat this thing really truly is. But I'm going to go ahead and say 73s, and we'll let you continue with your CQs. All right, Mike. WB7, Echo, Charlie, Whiskey. KD0ZDU. We'll be clear and probably QS1.
Okay, Don. Yeah, you were coming up to S9 that time, so you got a great signal up here. Thanks a lot, And yeah, I'll see if I get anybody else just for the demo here. I got a lot of things to piece together. There's a lot of stuff. If you got users who haven't been on HF before, there's a whole bunch to learn. And then, of course, the HamSphere 4.0 transceiver is completely new to everyone. The different controls and whatnot, and the DX spots and the monitors and all of that. So anyway, Don, thanks a lot. Sending to read, and we'll talk to you again. KD0ZDU's WB7ECW. So notice that someone did spot me from Norway. They said they're using the IDC antenna also. Now they don't show up here in the cluster because to avoid using the spot as a chat box, you don't see on here people who have spotted you, because you don't need to know you're on. Of course you know you're on, but let me see if they're still around. QRZ, I don't know if anyone else was copying me. This is Whiskey Bravo 7, Echo Charlie Whiskey, listening.
Whiskey 1, Bravo Charlie Foxtrot. Good evening, Michael.
Okay, Whiskey 1, Bravo Charlie Foxtrot. I think that might be Norman, but I'm not sure. Call signs, sometimes I don't remember them perfectly. Well, hello. Thank you for the call. You might have heard me telling Don that I'm recording some stuff tonight to try to piece together for a help video, and I'm just showing what I can do with the IDC vertical. So first I went to VOACAP, showed that 20 meters had propagation mostly to North America. There was a little bit to South America, but not great, and I proved that by barely copying a station in Brazil. And there was some to Europe, but it was quite early there. But then Torsten in Norway was awake and calling CQ. And then I called CQ and proved that North America was in by getting Colorado. And so now I got the East Coast, I believe. And I'm wondering what antenna you're using there. W1 BCF, this WB7ECW.
WB7 Echo Charlie Fox, Echo Charlie Whiskey, Whiskey 1 Bravo Charlie Foxtrot. Yes, Michael, this is Norman, and I'm in Manchester, New Hampshire, and tonight I'm using a new 5-band fan dipole, 2-element Yagi, and hoping I'm getting a good signal into you.
Yes, Roger, Norman, you are. I didn't look at the S meter. I'm going to log you in at 5.7 because it got some QSB, but you sound fine. I mean, you're 100% copy, no problem. And I just logged you by hand here. I'm trying something new that Kelly said, that you could enter the frequency by just putting in the band. Because that'll be a little easier than trying to remember the exact frequency. So I just put in 20 meters as the frequency. So even though we've exchanged QSL cards before, I'm going to see if we can manage to do it successfully again with me entering the frequency that way. And I will give you an S meter reading on your next transmission. That 5-band 2-element fan Yagi is very popular. It seems to work really, really well, surprisingly well, considering it's just 2 elements. And just like the cardioid that Don was using, it's not that expensive. Certainly not considering that it covers 5 bands, and it's got great front to side ratio. But it's pretty wide lobe too, so you don't have to pinpoint it exactly. So anyway, I'll turn it back to you, Norman, and I'll check your signal on this time, your signal strength. W1 BCF, this WB7 ECW.
Okay, Michael. Yeah, I've been working the bands this afternoon and this evening. And I think I got about 12 new countries. I've had very good luck down into well, first Spain and then down into Barbados and Guatemala. Also got into Thailand this afternoon. That was the real thrill for me, as well as the European countries like Switzerland, etc. But yeah, I've gotten a lot of new countries this afternoon with some good signal reports. You're coming in about 5 and 5 right now for me. I've got my heading on 270. I don't know if I need to adjust that slightly to you or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Roger, Norman, I think that's close enough. Like I say, it's pretty wide lobe. I'm just using the IDC here, of course. So when you were using the IDC, you made a lot of contacts, I believe. Do you have any feel for how many countries you got when you were using the IDC vertical, Norman? Go ahead.
Well, you know, I love the IDC. I really did. I hung in there since August with the IDC before I bought any other antennas. And even today, I would switch to the IDC to see what was out there, and then switch over to the Yagi to try and concentrate my signal. But I had never worked with a vertical before, and I'm very impressed with the load pattern and everything off of this IDC vertical. And, you know, it got me quite a bit of Europe consistently and everything else. And I like it because I can hear everything around me, which is really great. So even today, I would migrate between the two antennas. But right now, I'm just trying to work primarily with the fan dipole to see what difference it makes and how well I'm understood with my other contacts. But I wholeheartedly agree the IDC is a tremendous antenna, and I'm very impressed.
Yeah, Roger, Norman. Yeah, it's, you know, it's not going to get the strongest signal to everywhere. As far as verticals go, I really like the collinear, the vertical collinear. It's got a little bit, I think, lower angle of radiation, so it tends to pick up the DX, the far DX, a little bit better. But again, it's omnidirectional, which is the great thing, because you don't have to worry about which direction the signals are coming from or who might hear you. I tend to call CQ on omnidirectional antennas so that I don't leave anybody, you know, leave anybody out. Don't leave any contacts on the table. And then, like you, if I have a directional antenna, I'll switch over to it if I need to peak up the signal. So I think you've made a good choice there. It's been really popular choice, that 2-element fan Yagi. Gets you 5 bands, and you know, can't hardly beat that. Anyway, so it's pretty exciting, Norman. I was really excited that you were having such great luck on the IDC. Of course, you were a popular station, popular state. You'll have to remind me. Oh wait, let me look at your. Oh, I don't have your. There you are. I just didn't have you memorized here. So New Hampshire, yeah. So you were popular, so lots of stations would call you. And I was really happy to hear that you were sticking with the IDC and doing, you know, learning everything you needed to learn and really deciding what antennas you wanted. And it was cool that you were having such good luck with it. And now it's exciting that you've got these new antennas and you're playing with them. You know, you're a ham. It's never been like that. You can't just suddenly decide that you want 3 new antennas and then have them in the same day. So it's really fun to play with. But anyway, Norman, thanks for calling me back. It's good to have some demonstrations here. I got a lot of editing to do. I've got a lot of video of me not making contacts, showing, you know, why sometimes when people first get on HamSphere 4 they're not seeing anything. You know, to do with propagation, the time of day when their half of the world is sleeping, and that kind of stuff. And now I've got some video making contacts too, so that's pretty darn cool. And I've got a lot of stuff to put together. So anyway, Norman, thanks a lot, and it's great to hear you on, and I'm glad you're having a good time on HamSphere. W1BCF to WB7ECW.
Okay, Michael. I noticed today there are a lot more DX stations calling CQ and hanging in there, and I could literally go up and down the band and find someone calling CQ, which is what we need on HamSphere, because for the first few weeks, very few people were stepping out and calling CQ, and they didn't see a spike, so they weren't really looking for contacts. But I know Sunday with the IDC, I was busier than a bandit. I think I worked 29 DX contacts in a little less than an hour, so it's just insane. So I'll never put down the IDC. It does its job. It does its job very well. And I think the users on 4.0 are getting the idea that they need to step out, call CQ, be patient, and let someone find them. And I think this afternoon and tonight has been really great. There's been a lot more activity on the bands, and I'm always glad to see that.
Yep, Roger, Norman. That all sounds good. That is really the point. I can't remember where I said that. Whether it was, well, I say it all the time. Can't remember if I said it on the most recently on the Facebook page or on the video that if you don't see any signal spikes, it very well could be because everybody is just tuning around looking for signal spikes, and therefore nobody sees spikes. And then people think that there's no propagation, or there's nobody up, or there's, you know, their antenna's not working, and then they shut it off or something. If I'm gonna give it a shot at all, I usually at least try to find a band that's in and call CQ a little bit at least, because you never know. And tonight it worked. So thanks a lot, Norman. You've said some great stuff there, and if you don't mind, I'll use some of it in the video. So thanks a lot, and I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, stop the recording, and maybe record a little more in the next day or two, and then I have a lot of editing to do over the weekend. So thanks, Norman. You sound great here. You're just going to have so much fun, I know, because you're going to continue to be popular, I think. Every time we get somebody new on, they have 0 countries and 0 states. You know, that's the interesting thing. And they're going to want everybody. But New Hampshire will continue to be rare, I think. So thanks a lot, Norman. 73, and we'll talk to you again, and we'll see you on the Facebook page too. W1BCF, this is WB7ECW.
Hey, WB7ECW, W1BCF. Fine business, Michael. I'm going to let you go as well. My throat's getting a little dry. Needs something to wet my whistle, so to speak. Hi. But it's always a pleasure to hear you in there, and I always follow what you have to show us on Facebook and with 4.0 on Facebook as well. I consider you one of the leaders as far as putting correct information out there and being an encouragement to others, and I really appreciate that.
Okay, Norman, no problem. It's just my nature, I guess. I like to spread correct information and squelch the bad rumors as quick as I can. So just what I have to do, I guess, and I'm trying hard to help all the new users because I want it to be successful. So thanks a lot, Norman. I'll talk to you again, and have a great time. Get all those DX countries. I'm sure you've passed me already. So good night to you, and we'll talk to you another time. W1BCF, this is WB7ECW 73.